then for the higher tier, let's have a look at how we get the gradient from just 2 points. So if we're not given the formula or an actual line, but we're simply given the coordinates of 2 points on that line, how do we work out the gradient of it? And this is important because it will allow us to work out the actual equation of the line. So here we've got an example where we have got two coordinates. They are 4, 4, so 4 across on the x-axis and 4 up on the y-axis for the first point, and 6 across on the x-axis and 8 up on the y-axis for the second coordinate. And these are the 2 points that we need to find the gradient of. So the first thing we're looking at is how much we go across for x, and then how much we go across for y. Because remember that when we're working out a gradient, we divide the amount of cross that we go across by y, or go up or down by y, remember down is represented by a negative, by the amount we go up by x, or minus if it's going to the left. So how are we going to work out that with just the coordinates? Well, we know that x goes from 4 up to 6. So if we do 6 take away 4, we'll have the distance that x has moved to the right. Notice how we put the second coordinate first. Similarly, we're going to do y is 8 and 4. It's important to put the second coordinate first, because if it's going downwards and sloped, you'll find you'll have a negative number. So for instance, if y was going up and x was moving, if y was moving down, you'd have 4 take away 8, and so you'd have a negative gradient. So always make sure with the y you put the second coordinate first. That's going to give us x is 2 and y is 4. X goes to the right 2, y goes upwards 4. So from that then we can work out the gradient by simply doing the y, 4, divided by the difference in x, 2, to give us a gradient of 2. So that's how we work out the gradient from 2 points. Divide the difference in x by the difference in y, making sure if y is increasing it's positive, and if y is decreasing then we put in a negative value. So how can we actually make the equation from this then? Well, we remember that the linear equation has the format of y equals mx plus c. Have a look at one of the previous videos for a recap on this. And that m represents the gradient. So because we've worked out the gradient from these 2 points, we can now say that y equals 2x plus c. With that gradient, remember we know the point is 4, 4. So we can work out how many steps of 2 it is until we get to the y-axis. So for if we take away 0 from 4, so that means it's 4 steps from the point that we're on the x-axis to the 0 point on the x-axis. So it's 4 units of x until the y-axis. And remember that the gradient is 2, so for every x, y goes up 2. We can then do 4 times 2 to give us the answer of 8. So y is going to decrease by 8 in order to until it reaches the y-axis. Notice how if 2 had been negative, So if it had been a negative gradient of -2, we do -2 times 4 equals 8, and y would have actually increased by 8. So the kind of the sign is flipped. If you come out with a positive number, then y is going down by 8. But if you come out with a negative number, y is going up by 8. Now remember that number is important where it touches the y-axis, because in our equation of y equals mx plus c, c is the point at which the line touches the y-axis. So when we do 4, because 4 is the point at which we're at the start, because that's the 4 point, take away the 8 that we worked out by multiplying this 4 by the gradient of 2. It gives us -4, so we know with this line the line would cross the y-axis at -4, and then we can change our gradient of y equals 2x plus c to y equals 2x minus 4, because it's crossing the y-axis at -4. So this line, if we joined up those 2 points and extended them on, it would give us a line with the equation y equals 2x minus 4.